Hey guys, welcome to day 8 of Vlogmas. I'm trying to actually do this at a different time of day for once. I actually have a little bit of time right now before it gets dark, so I'm actually trying to do this without my light on, so that's maybe why things look a little bit different, but not that anyone really cares, I'm sure. For every one of these, when it comes to getting things set up and ready to record, that's usually the time when I actually think, what am I going to pick either from my list or something else that I'm fancying talking about for these. So today, looking at the list, I thought I would have a little ramble about the guitar that got away. I wouldn't ever say that I've owned hundreds of guitars, because that's very far from it. I may be lucky to have owned a total of a dozen in the past 23 years. Maybe a little bit, probably about a dozen. But what became my standard before this one, which I think I've spoke about in videos before, but this is my go-to. It is just a Fender Telecaster standard Mexican, and I love it. It's got the Texas Special pickups in it, and yeah, that's my baby. I have spoke about it before because I've mentioned its name, Lily, the only guitar that I've ever named so far. Before that, my kind of standard was an Epiphone Gothic Les Paul, and that's what I used in the band Caution, This Box Contains the End of the World. When I left that band, I found that I wasn't playing as much heavier music, so I wanted something that could kind of be more alternative rock. I'm trying to think of how to put it. Not softer, but maybe a bit more ambient, and just have a bit more of a range between what you could do. The Gothic Les Paul I really liked, but it really had its home in being distorted and being really heavy, so I ended up going for this one. But this has nothing to do with my dream guitar. Not my dream guitar, the guitar that got away. The guitar that got away, I actually didn't buy. It was one that I won in a competition in Guitarist magazine. They did a competition where there were a first, second and third prize, and they were all PRS guitars. And I somehow managed to come third place in it, and I found myself with a PRS SE Soap Bar 2. Now, I adore PRS guitars, so I was extremely happy to find that I won this one, but as this has nothing to do with what I was rambling on about with my standard guitar, so I don't know why I started with that, but this was in the period where I think this was before I got this. It was after Caution, This Box, but before I ended up getting that one, so I still had the Epiphone Les Paul. And really the Soap Bar 2 probably would have been what I was looking for if it weren't for the fact that it was after I got rid of the Soap Bar 2 that I realised I was after something else, if that makes sense. So I was still wanting something with a heavy sound, and the Soap Bar 2 could do something pretty heavy, and it sounded pretty cool. I'm sure I could do more with it now that I have more experience with experimenting with tone and different pedals and effects and what have you. But at the time, I was what's the word? Stupid. So I got rid of it. I didn't get rid of it straight away. It makes it sound like I did. I had it for about 6 months, maybe longer. It was such a beautiful guitar. It was such a beautiful guitar to play. It felt so good. I remember it having a really nice tone to it, a really nice sound that just at the time wasn't something that I was doing anything with. And this is also when I was very narrow-minded, and although I knew people did it, I never thought about blending guitars, like creating a sound in a recording by having different guitars, different amps, different effects and things like that. So I just had this thing that I'm only going to be using one guitar, which is really stupid looking back on it. But because I thought I was getting everything that I wanted out of this other guitar, and that I wasn't using, I played it obviously, but I mostly played the Les Paul, and I wasn't using the Soap Bar 2 for any kind of recordings. So I thought it was a bit pointless me having it just laying around. So I sold it. And it's pretty safe to say that within 24 hours of selling it, I completely regretted it. I said in a previous video that I don't like living with the idea of regrets, because whatever happens brings you to where you are today. That's one of there's like a handful of moments that get as close as possible for me of actually regretting something, and that's one of them, which may sound stupid because it's over a guitar, but it was so nice, and it was a PRS, and I haven't owned one since, and I really would like to get a PRS, but I've hunted for it again. I got really close to buying one earlier this year, but sadly, I can't remember what it was, something happened, and the money I had that I could have used for it had to be used on something else. Like, I had to prioritize. And yeah, it got sold by the time I actually got the money again. And yeah, so that's one I'm probably going to look out for to maybe get again. My only worry now is that if I ever find it again, that I'll play it and I'll be like, this is just awful. I really hope it lives up to what I remember it being, because it was so nice. I'm trying to think if I actually have any other guitars that I've owned that I've then later wished I hadn't got rid of. The only one I can think of, and this is one I covered in a previous vlog as well, is, I'm not going to grab it out, but over there I've got my Marlin Slammer, which was my first ever electric. And I did get rid of that for a period, and I ended up regretting it. It took like 4 months, maybe 6 months, for me to realise actually I really want that back, if nothing else for sentimentality of that was my first electric. And I got it back and it was ruined. I'll put a link somewhere either in one of the cards or down below to that vlog, and you can see and hear about what happened with that guitar. But I can't think of getting rid of any of my other guitars and then really regretting it. I wouldn't mind having another Epiphone Gothic Les Paul, but I'd probably want to try it first to see if it is actually something I'd make use of. But I really quite like that guitar. But I ended up I think I sold that or part-exed it to get my Telecaster. I think that's what I did. I think I part-exchanged it to get my Telecaster, and I don't regret getting that Telecaster in the slightest. I'm very much about the Telecasters, if you can't tell. But yeah, so I think, yeah, definitely the PRS SE Soap Bar 2 is my top kind of regret, or the one, like I say, the one that got away. Maybe one day again, but yeah, that pretty much covers it. A nice little ramble about my long lost love. Again, maybe one day, but that'll be about it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know if you're a musician and there was a piece of kit that you absolutely adored, but for one reason or other, whether you had to or you just thought it was a good idea at the time, you got rid of it and you just wish you could have it back again. Like I say, do let me know. Other than that, thank you again, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.